guys, today we will speak about the cardiac cycle. I've split this video into 3 parts where we will speak about the valves, the heart valves first, and then we'll move on to the heart sounds, and then finally we'll speak about the cycle. Just a bit about all 3. Starting with the valves, we've got 4 in total. In the heart, so we've got 2 atrioventricular valves, obviously between the atrium and the ventricles, hence the name atrioventricular. The left one is called the bicuspid or the mitral valve, and the right one is called the tricuspid valve. Because it says tri, it's got 3 cusps, and bi has got 2 cusps that hold the valve together. So what is their function? They prevent the backflow of blood into the atrium, so the blood only goes in one direction from the atrium to the ventricles. Now about the second ones, which are the semilunar valves. We've got 2 of them as well, and they separate the ventricles from the main vessel that leaves the ventricle. So first we've got the pulmonary one, and after that we've got the aortic one. Now we'll move on to the heart sounds. So we've got 4 in total: S1, S2, S3 and S4. S1 and S2 are valve closing events, and S3 and S4 are caused by blood entering the left ventricles. Alright, so starting with S1, it is due to, it's in the beginning of the ventricular systole. Pressure develops rapidly during this time, causing blood to start moving towards the atrium. Backwards, so the movement catches the leaflets of the atrioventricular valves and causes them to snap shut. So this causes a rumbling lub sound that we say. And then S2 is the closure of the aortic and the pulmonary valves, and it manifests as a rumbling dub sound. So we say the heart's got a lub dub sound. S3 is a low intensity rumbling heart sound during early diastole and caused by the blood rushing into the left ventricle, causing turbulence. And S4 would be the atrial contraction, which causes blood being forced into the ventricle at high pressure. So that it causes turbulence or reverberations within the ventricular wall. As I said, both of them to do with blood flow. Now going towards the cycle, the main part of this video. So we've got 7 stages or discrete phases, and we'll be talking about all 7 briefly. They've got names for each stage that you need to know. Starting with the first stage is known as the atrial systole. Obviously, as the name suggests, it is initiated by the atrial excitation or the atrial contraction. Then we move on to the second one, which is the isovolumic ventricular contraction. I'll speak about each of them later. Third one would be rapid ventricular ejection. Then we go from rapid to a bit slower version, so we go to a reduced ventricular ejection. Then the 5th one would be the isovolumic ventricular relaxation. And 6th one, rapid ventricular filling. And again, the 7th stage would be a slower version. So we have the reduced ventricular filling, and these are the 7 stages of the cardiac cycle. Now, what happens in each of these stages? So, as I already mentioned, For the atrial systole, you've got the atrial contraction. In the second stage, you have the ventricular systole. It begins. So how does it begin? It begins when the mitral valve closes. So it takes time to develop sufficient pressure to force the aortic valve open. So when one valve closes, the other one has to be open. So during this time, the myocytes are contracting around a fixed volume of blood, which is why it says isovolumic. The rapid ventricular ejection is when the aortic valve finally opens and blood gushes out at high velocity. Reduced would be when the aortic valve closes, so the velocity decreases. Isovolumic relaxation would be the ventricle once again is a sealed vessel, so it forms a period of isovolumic relaxation. The rapid filling is when the mitral valve opens, so there's rapid passive filling, signaling the beginning of diastole. And the reduced ventricular filling is known as diastasis also, or diastasis, where the cardiac cycle ends with the reduced filling basically, so the velocity decreases. Thank you for watching.